Hello and welcome to Team Reptile Adventures. As much as we enjoy exploring our local region in Lower Michigan, we also enjoy new adventures where we can find species of wildlife that are not found in the southern region of Michigan's Lower Peninsula. One of these species is the black bear. We figured our best bet to learn about black bear would be to take a trip to Michigan's Upper Peninsula. As usual, we decided to stay at Curly's Paradise Motel and Cabins, which is located in Paradise, Michigan. This would give us a great location to make our Team Reptile headquarters for the Upper Peninsula adventures. The town of Paradise sure lives up to its name with beautiful scenery, wonderful people, and of course abundant wildlife. The staff at Curly's was helpful as always, putting us up in a beautiful house overlooking Lake Superior. We knew that our best bet to learn more about black bears would be to visit the Oswald's Bear Ranch in Newberry, Michigan. I had been there a couple times before just for enjoyment, and I knew that this would be a great opportunity to get up close and personal with the black bear. Although Oswald's Bear Ranch has only been open to the public since 1997, Dean Oswald has been working with black bear for over 20 years. His experience was very obvious to us as he made his way into one of the large bear habitats. Well, so these guys are definitely used to
Oh yeah, these are the guys I raised from cubs.
Okay.
Bottle fed.
Actually let us in right now to the one of the fenced-in areas with the black bear. You can see we've got two up in the tree, and I never imagined we get to come right in with them right here, and this is just great. But he said they go up in the tree quite a bit. These are both pretty young right here, young and smaller black bear. They get much larger. Black bears are able to climb trees partly due to their strength, but also because of their strong curved claws which allow them to grasp the tree more firmly. This allows the younger bears to escape danger with their lighter weight bodies, allowing them to quickly climb up a tree. Great.
Most of all the bears here, like I said, I've bottle fed 22 of the 26 I bottle fed.
Wow.
That's Dave there. That's two of hers up there in the tree.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cinnamon coming over here. Paige, she's out of South Dakota, Reptile, South Dakota.
Now how old are the two in the tree again?
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Two and
Okay.
3, yeah.
Now how old will they be before they basically reach adult size?
Oh, size-wise, Bone, I believe probably 8, 9, 10 years old. Then they put some weight on after that.
Okay.
I found that to be around here anyway.
Now the average lifespan in the wild is right around 10 to 15 years, somewhere around
It
there?
depends. It depends if they're being hunted. If a bear isn't being hunted, you got the genetics just like people. If they get the food there, 20, 25, 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
What's the longest any of them lived here in
25.
captivity? 25 years?
25 years, yeah.
Wow.
I lost my big guy this year, Grizz. He was 25 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What's the oldest one you have right now then?
Right now?
Born in...
Susie. She's out here someplace. Susie's up there walking in that corner up there. She's
okay.
13.
Born in 91.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's 13 now. So let's go across over and I'll show you the cubs and we'll go over to get the yearlings and then we'll see the males.
Okay, great.
You can tell which one's which just at a glance like that?
Oh yeah. Take them inside. You ready to go inside?
Yeah, let me ask you one question if you don't mind before we go in. And that is, how exactly did you get started with working with the bears?
First got my first bear from a federal breeder back in '84, and kind of like kids, you have 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And then I've had the bears from that time, and then 1997, I had so many people stopping all the time saying, like to see your bears, I might as well put a gate up, then pay for the food.
Right,
So
right.
That's what we did.
Where did you get your funding to pay for the food and everything originally?
Right through the gate. Originally?
Originally, before you even charged?
From my pension check.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. Just that passionate about it. That's great.
Like it. Yeah.
Okay, well thanks. We're going to go in and check out some cubs. And these cubs were the ones that were rescued?
These cubs here were the ones that were rescued from the Department of Natural Resources. Logging accident. The accident was down in, I forget the county's name, but it was between Alpena and Atlanta, Onaway area. But anyway, logging accident where one of the logger had run over the top of the den, killed one of the cubs. The mother run off, didn't come back. He took them home. The Department of Natural Resources confiscated them, and they were concerned about the TB, possibly because it was in that area, and then they kind of put out the word that they had them. People called, zoos didn't want to accept them because of the possibility of TB. I called, and we got them here.
Okay, great.
We've got the two of them down there. They were born the 1st of January.
Oh, wow.
Working out good.
All right,
very
great.
good. All right, what we're doing now is that my arm here is acting as a pacifier, same as you have with the child. And they're sucking on my arm. If you, a lot of the bears that I've had when I first started, that I let them suck on my neck. They naturally want to get on your chest or your lap, and then your closest thing is your neck, and it draws you. It makes pretty good hickeys, and sometimes you play those. Which feet is today? You're okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Now, how is their
Anybody
temperament?
want to pet them? Come on, pet them. Oh, you got to hurry.
How is their temperament generally? Good.
They're still in a little bit of the biting stage. This ain't
Yeah.
until you really break them from biting. That's the only bad part of it.
Okay.
And they don't bite you to be malicious. They bite you like puppies.
Right.
And then what happens? They do bite you. You jerk back, and then you gotta bite.
Okay.
And then you got a problem.
Right. Although these are considered small black bears, they are definitely not babies. Newborn black bear only weigh about 8 to 12 ounces, which is about the same weight as an adult red squirrel. Although they will grow fairly quickly, young bear will definitely need their mother to look out for them for a while.
Don't you bite my shoe.
Roar! What are you trying to chew on? Oh, mints. I have some breast. I had some breast savers in my pocket. Like, oh, those breast savers. Thank goodness I wore jeans.
Take it, pet them underneath the throat.
Underneath the throat?
Yeah, they like that.
Okay. Oh.
The what?
You already feed some?
That side. Yeah, this side here. I'll give you a hand this
Very
side.
fortunately, obviously, you don't get to do that when, this isn't something that everybody gets to do come in with these cubs. And they are definitely stronger. They are much stronger than what you would think. And their teeth are definitely strong too, because even though he's trying to chew through my mints, which I probably should get out of there, but even though he's trying to chew through my mints, I can actually feel him pinching the jeans a little bit. And actually, thank goodness I wore jeans that are not anything real fancy. Now this one, you just like my shoe, don't you? Now you're not going to get that. You know that, right?
I'll have you
You're
take
not actually going to get that.
when you come out.
Then what if I take it?
Just put it right back, just like that. There and now for 2.
Okay.
And put it back that way, just like that.
Follow me. Follow me. Come up and see the camera. Not that. Now we've gotten a chance where Bill and Amanda actually got to come in and play with the bears a little bit too. And they, as you can see with me, they're definitely, they can get pretty aggressive. You see it with each other, and then look at that. Ah, you look like a bear.
No.
I'm here to provide commentary.
No.
See, Amanda, you got that going for you. You're about the same size as them, so they're like, hey, a friend. Bill looks like Mama Bear. Oh, Bill, you might want to help out Amanda. Yeah. Be strong, Bill. All right, Courtney wants to go play with the bears now, too.
Maybe I won't. I'll play with the
Well, let's see if I can get Amy to film you, and then I'll stand over there with you.
Okay. Good call.
You can see these bears, they don't realize they're being aggressive, but they end up being very aggressive, and they can bite. And bite hard.
Or you want to take some pictures?
Yeah, this is where I want to be.
Hello, little bears.
Oh, I better have some shoes. If you don't mind, they're gonna get chewed up.
There you go. Get out of there. Get out. No.
He thinks there's something in there.
Oh, well, might want to back away for a second.
Oh, they wrestle like that.
Yeah, it's great. This is incredible. We really appreciate you taking the time to do
Yeah,
this.
no problem.
As we made our way toward one of the large bear habitats, I asked Dean if he ever sees any wild bear come through his property.
People's up here, we're walking that way.
He told us that he does, and that they even had one the other day go right through the property.
How about anything else?
Another interesting fact that he let us know is they had seen a mountain lion not too far from their place recently.
And then how old are these guys?
These guys here were last year's cubs. They're 1 year old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a treat we give them there. They got, you can see where the food is up there. This is a treat.
Okay.
Those are called, those are the circus peanuts.
Oh, yeah?
This is my son Carl.
Hi, Carl. How you doing?
His place over there.
Oh, wow. That's a very nice place over there.
Getting there.
Yeah. That's really nice. I love this habitat. Now, do these guys get to do any fishing or not? They're not really. They're not like the grizzlies, right?
No.
They don't actually.
If there was something there, they'd probably go after it. But
Yeah. How about in the wild?
it's certainly, oh yeah.
Do they do quite a bit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they were
We go
like
run.
grizzlies or.
Run. Come on. Come on, run.
Now, have you ever had any problems with the bear going at you at all, or no? No.
I've been bit a couple times, but I know when I'm going to get bit.
Oh, okay.
A little runt right here.
Okay.
That's Mary. That's Zach, this one here, nice little bear.
He's a good little bear.
Is he?
Oh, yeah, Zach right there. They're all pretty good. She's a little bit hyper.
On our way to the third habitat, we asked Dean if he was going to get any more bears. He told us that right now Oswald's Bear Ranch had 26 black bears, and for now that was enough. It's obvious that Dean loves what he does, but that sure is a lot of work. I can't imagine taking care of 26 bears. One of the things that impressed us the most about Dean is his passion for what he does. The fact that he's willing to share this passion with other people is great too. The educational experience that people get here at Oswald's can be very beneficial for them, and in the long run for black bear too.
Come to see me, huh? You come to see me? You come to see me, baby, huh? Oh, the baby.
It's just amazing.
Oh, come here, Dino. Come here, Dino. Come on. Come here, Dino.
Now, do they accept everyone in your family basically like this because of your interaction with them, or?
Yeah. Hey, Dino. Oh, the baby, yeah. Oh, the baby, yeah. Huh? Come here, Diamond. Come here, Diamond. Huh? Hey, Brandy. Hi, Brandy. Oh, there's Diamond. Yeah, there's Diamond. Huh? No, 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 no. No, no. No playing. Hi, baby. Oh, that baby. Yeah. Okay.
These bears are pretty large. You just got them 2 or 3 years ago, or they were born 2 or 3 years ago?
These were born here. That one there, he's 4 years old. Yeah. See the big bear up there on top? You gotta get a shot of him over here. There's a beautiful bear up there. He's big.
How old is he?
6
About how many pounds?
pounds, 5.5, 600.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a big bear.
Yeah. No problems where they even just without realizing because of their strength, no problems with them ever knocking you down, anything like that?
Going in. No, I don't let him play with me.
Oh, okay.
It was fascinating for us to watch Dean while he interacted with these large bears. The mutual respect that exists between Dean and these bears is extremely evident, especially in a situation like this.
Well, Dean was just telling us that these bears, this enclosure right here, is over a half a mile around. And so it gives you an idea of the space that these bears need. And really, when it comes to the wild, it's not enough space. They need to roam a lot of area, especially if they're in need of food. And they'll move to different locations depending on where the amount of prey is. But with here, as you can tell, they're pretty well fed. There's some big bears out here, so they don't really have to search for food. In fact, it's usually there waiting for them, and we've got to stand here and watch them just tear apart some of the meat and that. And what's really neat about bear, or most people assume that they're a strict carnivore. However, they're not. They actually, much of their diet is also based around berries and other things that they find out in the wild. They love to forage for those type of things, and also take in a good healthy amount of protein through meats.
After we left the third large bear habitat, we stopped in to look at a picture of Tyson, a black bear who had passed away back in the summer of 2000. Tyson had a certified weight of 880 pounds, making him the largest black bear in the United States and possibly even the world. I was fortunate enough to see Tyson while he was alive, and he was definitely a big bear. This was a great adventure here at Oswald's, and we want to extend a big thank you to Dean and Carl as well as the Bears for being such great hosts and for providing us with so much valuable information.
How do you like that, eh? Wow.
This wouldn't be the end of today's adventure, however, because we were headed for Tequamanon Falls State Park back in paradise. In the past, when I would hear someone talking about Tequamanon, I would automatically think of the falls. I never realized that Tequamanon Falls State Park covered such a large area of land. When we contacted the park and expressed our interest in learning more about the park and doing some exploring there, they put us in touch with their park interpreter. With his help, we found out there was much more to this park than we could have ever imagined.
The green that you see is the park boundary. Okay, so we're about 40,000 acres in size, of which the northern about 20,000 acres is what we call our natural area. It's an area it's designated by the state as a natural area. The only road vehicle access to this area, the only motorized vehicle access is via this road, which ends right there. It's like what we would call our Clark Lake Road.
Okay.
There's no motorized vehicle access up here. So this whole kind of 20,000 acres is about as natural as you can find around here. You know, there are areas that are being protected, you know, in the state and being left as examples of what the area looked like, you know, pre-European explorers. So, so that's definitely a great spot. And, a lot of bear have been seen lately. You know, they're out really roaming around right now. You know, they're trying to scarf down a lot of food. We've been seeing a pair of cubs at the Lower Falls area along the boardwalk, which goes down by the Lower Falls. There's a pair of cubs, and I'm sure that, you know, that the female is up there as well. Okay. And then there's been a couple, you know, which would be, you know, yearlings. You know, they're probably a year and a half old. Been seen. I just saw the one yesterday right across the road from Clark Lake Road right here, stuck to a big red pine tree. And then
we had gotten some great information and some great tips on where we might be able to find some moose, bear, and other elusive wildlife. The park interpreter had to head out on the trails to see if the osprey were nesting near Clark Lake, and he was kind enough to let us tag along. It wouldn't be too long now before we were out there exploring the beautiful Tequamanon Falls State Park.
Now we're standing out here right now with Bob Wild. What a perfect last name for what we're doing. But Bob Wild is with the DNR, and we've actually met him out here at Tequamanon Falls State Park. And we're going to explore an area back here. It's one of their little off-roads here toward Clark Lake, where he needs to check on an osprey nest to find out if there's any activity there this year. And at the same time, we're going to explore around and see what else we can find with them. So we're going to go ahead and hike down this way. And Bob's going to kind of show us around. There too. He's a green frog or a mink frog. He's a green frog, I can tell already. As I eat a mosquito. Yeah, that's a green frog. Well, is it? Yep, green frog. Just double check one thing. Don't jump out of there. Hang on, buddy. Yeah. Now the mink frog will have usually more round and can be smaller, but you know what I was talking about with the hybrid? There's so many hybrids that are possible now between them that, I mean, for all we know, this could be a hybrid of the two. But this is our first little catch since Bob brought us back, little green frog that Amanda saw and took a scoop at, and then we just grabbed him real quick with the net. With the off on my hand, I want to get them back in the water and not handle them too much because they absorb so much through their skin that it's not going to do them any good to have them in my hand this long. So I'll get them right back down in. But I'm sure there's a very healthy population of these with these little areas like this, and more importantly, with there's obviously enough food supplies here for them with all these mosquitoes and other bugs flying around. Now, of course, the bad part, Bob was telling us earlier, the bad part for this little frog is with all these bugs flying around, that's going to also bring in some of the larger, I'm sure you have some large dragonflies and that out here, right?
We do.
Yeah, and those and even some of the large diving beetles will take down these little frogs, and when they get the chance, they'll take the frogs and eat the frogs rather than eating the little tiny bugs. Why not get a little more protein with those big frogs?
This is where our meat-eating plants are.
Really?
Yeah.
Pitcher plants.
Got a pitcher plant. Insects are attracted to them, thinking they're a flower. So they'll fly up to these pitcher plants and they'll crawl down inside and realize it's not a flower. Then they'll go to crawl back out, and there's hair follicles inside the plant that grows down. So it prevents them from crawling back up. They fall, they drop down inside, and get digested by the plant. We got another plant that consumes insects, and it's the sundew plant. It's all these little red ones that look like they have little tentacles on them.
Yeah.
Yep, and those, again, they're red, so they're bright colored, similar to a flower. So flying insects or crawling insects will be attracted to them, and they'll land on them. And all their little like follicles they have a sticky glue substance on the end. And the insect gets trapped in it, and the plant will slowly close onto it, and it will digest them. And we also have bladderworts, which is a plant that grows in the water, and it actually has almost like a trigger mechanism in it, that when a little swimming insect comes by and it hits this trigger, the plant expands and sucks all the water in around it and traps the insect in it that way, and it will digest insects too. All these plants they're consuming insects because it's really hard to get nitrogen out here in the soil, because in a bog situation there's very little decomposition and plants need nitrogen. So these plants consume insects to get their source of nitrogen.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a
That's
great
amazing.
spot.
Yeah.
Trying to find one. A lot of times you can see an insect stuck in them. Actually, like a damselfly or.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I've never seen that. Where's that going?
And there's a whole bunch of them. I've been trying to get them to close. Some people say that if you touch them with like a pine needle or something like that, that they'll slowly close. But I've never had it happen. And then these little plants here. Those are cranberry plants.
Really?
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
And wild cranberries grow out here in the bog. Come out here in the fall time and you'll see them. They sit right up on top of this sphagnum moss. The sphagnum moss is why we can be standing out here right now. This moss is actually about 8 feet thick, and it's all water. But if we were to bounce on here, if we put our foot on there, you can see how that's all water.
Right.
That's how all these other plants can grow out here. Like the trees like that tamarack tree right there. They can grow because of all that sphagnum moss is slowly growing out towards the center of this water. Yeah, that's what makes a bog.
Now, how would the wild cranberry get the nitrogen it needs? Is it
That's a great question.
just kind of?
Like a lot of these other plants, you know, are designed. It's not that there is no nitrogen out here.
Just less.
It's just, yeah, there's just it's a real challenged environment to grow. You know, you find, you know, some of the plants like bog rosemary. We've got bog laurel, bog rosemary. We got, yep.
Wow. That's cool.
That is cool.
Now, this is the same time, Pete, where in other countries they'll drain this area and then they'll
Yep.
cut this area out and use it
Yep.
as a fuel source to heat their homes.
Uses a fuel
Wow.
source to heat their homes, and also if you garden at home and you buy peat moss
Yep.
in the garden section of the store, yep, the same kind of stuff. Yep, it's an organic matter that builds up and builds up and builds up on itself, and it very, very slowly decomposes.
Okay.
So I actually was out here this winter with some guys from a couple, University of Toledo and a guy from the U.S. Geological Survey, and they're studying the ancient glaciation of the area. And we took a core sample down from Clark Lake, where we're going to go, which is right over this tree line here. We took a core sample down below the surface of the lake, and about, if I remember right, it was about 8 feet down or so, through the sand, we hit some ancient peat moss that was down there.
Wow.
And we actually had some of it dated, things from the similar area, and it was 4,000 to 5,000 year old peat moss that had been preserved in these layers and layers of peat. And the only change that it had gone through since it died is it lost its chlorophyll. It lost its green color. Otherwise, the plant looked just like what you'd see if you grabbed a piece of this sphagnum moss.
Wow.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Things just don't break down
And this.
in a bog. Yeah. Very poor oxygen source. And
After leaving the bog, Bob took us back to a bear den that had been used a couple of years ago.
yeah, you guys want to come down and take a peek?
Yeah.
Black bear generally don't use the same den more than once. Although bears are not true hibernators, they do become inactive during the winter months, dropping their heart rate and their body temperature. They will remain in their den during the winter months, living off the stored fat they have put on during the late summer and fall months. This is usually close to about 50 pounds of extra fat they put on during this time. Hey, I've just come to the realization that I'm part bear. Anyways, I decided to take a close look down in this den, and judging by its size and Bob's information, we figured it was used by a female black bear and probably a couple of cubs. Although it was quite large inside the den, the entrance hole was much smaller than I expected, and it would have been too tight for me to fit in there. We had a great adventure here today, and we want to give a special thanks to Park Interpreter Bob Wild and the rest of the staff here at the beautiful Tequamanon Falls State Park. We're out of time today, but believe me, we are not by any means finished with our Upper Peninsula adventures. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Team Reptile Adventures.
I want to get these mints out of here that he's chewed up.
Oh, Rich.
Sorry.